on this computer. All right, we are now recording. All right, Max, maybe I can toss it over to you.
Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone that's in attendance today, and all those who are going to view this video after the fact. My name is Maxime Lee. I'm one of the co-presidents of the Communications Graduate Student Association, or the CGSA, and welcome to this special bylaw meeting. What the CGSA does, in part, is it represents students on the various committees that the Department of Communication has, and also organizes activities for students year-round. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah, donc en français, bonjour à tous et à toutes. Je m'appelle Maxime Lee. Je suis un des coprésidents de l'Association des étudiants en communication. Bon, j'ai mal dit le nom. L'Association étudiante. Ouais, l'Association des étudiants du département de la communication. Bon, voilà, quelque chose comme ça. Donc, je suis un des coprésidents, puis aujourd'hui, c'est une rencontre spéciale des bylaws. C'est quoi bylaw en français?
Statut.
Bon, des statuts. Et donc, oui, donc c'est une rencontre pour discuter des différents statuts que la AÉDC tente changer ou mettre à jour. Et puis, c'est ce qu'on va regarder aujourd'hui. La AÉDC, en temps normal, est responsable pour organiser des événements pour les étudiants et étudiantes et représenter les étudiants et les étudiantes aussi sur les divers comités du département de communication. Donc, bienvenue.
Merci, Max. Alors, je vais inviter tous les représentants de la AÉDC de faire une brève présentation, juste pour ce que les étudiants qui peut-être ne connaissent pas peuvent nous connaître. And just so that everyone knows, I've changed the presentation style. For some reason, there was subtitles appearing on the presentation that were not accurate. So if anyone in attendance is unable to see the presentation, please let me know. But there should be a slide on the screen in front of you. So my name is Jennifer Dumoulin, and just very briefly, I am the co-president of the CGSA and the PhD representative. Natalie or Jose?
Sure, I can go ahead. Hi everyone, my name is José. Je suis vice-présidente au bilinguisme. Donc, mon nom est José Basque et je suis vice-présidente au bilinguisme pour l'association depuis 2 ans maintenant.
And my name is Natalie. I'm finishing up my master's and I'm the VP of Finance for the CGSA.
Okay. Great, thank you everybody, and thank you for attending, for those in attendance. So just briefly, the plan for this meeting is to go over some proposed revisions to the CGSA bylaws, and in particular our organizational and electoral structure and schedule. Alors on va discuter une nouvelle structure proposée pour l'association des étudiants. On va prendre des questions, on va expliquer les différents rôles qui sont proposés, et ensuite on va partager un lien pour voter. So we're going to talk about the different roles that have been proposed, what those responsibilities entail, and then talk about the electoral cycle and share a link where students will be able to vote after the meeting, and this information will be circulated by email to students as well. So to give you a brief overview, we can circulate the current bylaws also. The way that the CGSA is structured right now is there are 5 representatives. There is the president, the vice president academic, the VP finance, the VP bilinguist, and the VP of external affairs. Last year, we chose as an association to operate with a co-presidency. So to have a PhD co-president and a master's co-president to reflect the 2 graduate students, graduate programs or graduate levels in the department, and that's part of the proposal going forward. So this is a quick snapshot of the proposal of what a new CGSA could look like. The roles are listed on the slides in both official languages. Apart from a handful of positions, all of the positions would be open to students at the master's and doctoral level. Alors, sur le diapo, vous pouvez voir tous les rôles qui sont proposés pour un nouveau conseil. La plupart des rôles sont ouverts à tous les étudiants, soit au MCOM, aux maîtrises ou au doctorat. Il y en a quelques-uns qui sont réservés à des étudiants représentant des programmes spécifiques. So the first two roles that have been proposed are to officially recognize a co-presidency, where you would have one PhD student and one master's or MCOM student. So they would share the responsibility of kind of coordinating the CGSA and I would say attending departmental meetings. They would be the spokesperson for their specific program, although all representatives certainly have a role. The co-presidents attend a variety of meetings at the department, strategic communications. They also attend the graduate studies committee meeting. And so having two co-presidents, having one at each level officially would ensure that the voices of PhD students and masters and MCOM students are well represented at those meetings. Après ça, on a la VP aux finances. Alors, la VP aux finances est une position que nous avons déjà. La personne qui occupe ce rôle serait responsable de l'enregistrement. For just one second. L'enregistrement des finances serait un signateur sur notre compte bancaire, aiderait avec la promotion et la planification des événements pour les étudiants dans le département. The VP academic is kind of a new role. They shall be responsible for organizing academic activities for students. Sorry, everyone. Just go back there. There we go. Coordinating and organizing the annual Intercom conference. So we'd have one role who'd be responsible for that project, although certainly all of the executive council would participate in helping with that as well. The VP social would be responsible for organizing social activities for students. So what we're proposing is splitting the events category into academic and social and health and wellness. That could facilitate more events being organized. À part ça, on propose aussi de garder le VP bilinguiste, un rôle très important pour assurer que les deux langues reçoivent le même niveau d'attention, non seulement au niveau de l'association, mais du département, de la faculté, de l'université. On propose aussi un vice-président de communication qui serait responsable pour gérer notre nouveau site web qu'on a piloté et lancé en juin. Cette personne aussi serait responsable pour nos réseaux de médias sociaux. Alors, on est sur Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube maintenant. Cette vidéo va être postée sur YouTube. Et tous les membres vont assister avec la promotion des événements. The VP Community Affairs would be responsible for managing and coordinating all of the CGSA's correspondence. So all of the many emails that we receive would fall under the purview of the community, of VP Community Affairs, as well as building and maintaining relationships with other stakeholders and organizations, not only within the University of Ottawa, like GSAD and the Undergraduate Students Association, but also the Carleton University Communication Graduate Caucus, the Michael Jean Center, to allow for volunteer opportunities for students to be officially recognized with a co-curricular record. And they would also work in partnership with the University of Ottawa Alumni Office to strengthen our alumni relations. À part ça, on a 3 rôles spécifiques. Alors, un rôle de première année pour les étudiants au doctorat, un rôle de première année pour les étudiants aux maîtrises, soit aux options de projet de recherche ou thèse, et un représentant spécifique pour le programme MCOM. Alors, on propose d'avoir un poste spécifique pour chaque niveau qui rentre dans notre département aussi. So those are the various roles. There's certainly room to create potential subcommittees to assist with the carrying out of these activities, or to bring on other students to help with the execution of certain responsibilities. And this slide demonstrates an example of some of those. You know, the VP Communications could work with volunteers to help with social media and managing the website, which ensures that students that might not be comfortable with web development could still have an opportunity to act as VP Communications. Similarly, the VP Academic could potentially strike a committee to help carry out intercom. So there's lots of ways to involve other students in the management and implementation of programs, even if they don't necessarily take on a official role with the CGSA executive. So there's room for that as well. This might be a good time to pause and see if anybody has any questions or comments about the structure before we review the proposals for the new electoral cycle. So I'll leave open the floor if anybody has any questions or concerns. Si quelqu'un a des questions, des commentaires, ça serait une bonne opportunité de les poser avant qu'on commence à parler de notre processus d'élection.
So I have a question. How do you see continuity being built in? Because I've seen, you know, other models where you have more of a, you know, incoming president, past president, so that you actually build for the future in the event that, you know, you have people graduate or leave, or if everyone graduates at the same time. How do you see that happening in this model?
That is a very excellent question, Diane. Thank you for asking it. The next slide talks about the revisions to the proposed amendments to the electoral cycle. And one of the reasons that those proposals have been put forward is to ensure continuity between the years. So we'll be able to get into that in a little bit more in a couple minutes. Another thing that would be important for the CGSA to do this year, so the next steps would be elections once decisions on the bylaws are made, whether yay or nay. Either way, we need to hold an election for the existing structure or a new structure. And one of the tasks that the new council could undertake would be to ensure proper transition materials are prepared. And so that's something that the new council could discuss as well in more detail when they outline their plans for the coming academic year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now for the VP of Communications, it talks about webmaster and social media, but that's just some of what communications is about. Do you foresee it taking on a broader role of actually communicating in a number of ways, or?
Definitely, and I think that these roles have room for growth. The way that the bylaws have been proposed is to outline some primary responsibilities for each role, but the CGSA is certainly a team. So the representatives would be able to help each other. The primary responsibilities that the VP Comms would take out would be the website, managing the website, ensuring that there's content there. And part of that includes soliciting contributions from students, faculty, and other members. So ensuring that students have a voice on the website. Our blog has been somewhat active over the summer, as well as our social media presence. And we've encouraged students who have success stories, for example, to share those with us, and then we'll retweet those on our social media or re-Instagram those. Similarly, we try to reshare information coming out of the department, the Faculty of Arts, and the university on social media. So that's one of the ways that we see communicating, but there's definitely room for other ways to communicate as well, other responsibilities.
Thank you.
Thank you. Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions, d'autres commentaires concernant la structure proposée? OK. Alors, peut-être on pourrait passer aux périodes d'élection. Je vais juste regarder les statuts pour m'assurer que je ne me trompe pas avec des détails spécifiques. So just to give everyone kind of an idea of how the elections currently work, is normally the CGSA elections for all 5 positions take place in the fall semester, usually at the end of September, early October, so that a new council is in place for around Thanksgiving weekend. And please, my colleagues, let me know if I'm mistaken on the timing, but that's usually when the elections take place. In person, they're usually paired with a departmental event, such as the doctoral conference, which is coming up next week on September 30th. Just plugging that in there. And the CGSA would man a table in person, and students would come out and vote while attending the conference. This year, obviously, it's going to have to be virtual. But normally, all 5 positions are campaigned for and filled in the fall semester. So what is currently being proposed, and this year would kind of be a transition year for that, is to have some elections take place in the winter semester and some elections take place in the fall semester. Alors, juste en français, qu'est-ce qu'on fait maintenant? C'est d'habitude en septembre, vers la fin de septembre, on a des élections qui déclenchent et tous les 5 postes de l'association, ils sont comblés. Et d'habitude, on a un nouveau conseil, soit avec des étudiants qui retournent ou des étudiants qui rentrent dans les programmes vers l'action de grâce. Alors, d'habitude, on a un nouveau conseil complètement nouveau ou peut-être complètement nouveau en octobre. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on propose maintenant dans les statuts? C'est de changer la période des élections pour en avoir 2. Alors, on propose d'avoir des élections en hiver, à la fin de le semestre d'hiver, et des élections au début à l'automne. So how this proposed structure would work would be returning or upper year officers would be elected or potentially re-elected in the winter semester, and then incoming first year reps would be elected in the fall semester. So the roles that would be elected in the winter semester would be the co-presidential roles and all of the vice presidential roles. Those would be campaigned for and filled in the winter semester so that those students have time to transition with outgoing students over the summer semester, and also to start planning over the summer semester into the fall season. And then when the new cohort comes in for the PhD program, the master's program, and the MCOM program, those students would be elected in the winter semester. And those positions would be filled, and it would give those incoming students an opportunity to kind of learn how the department is structured, what the CGSA does over the course of the year, and hopefully they'd be interested in staying on and campaigning for a future role. But so that's how the continuity of the CGSA would change, because as Diane noted, there could be a time where everybody is graduating, and we're almost there at a time like that this year. And so in order to ensure continuity in corporate memory, that's one of the reasons for putting forward this new election structure.
Okay. Excuse me if I missed something. I had to step away for just a moment, but it occurs to me when we look at the first year reps, they may start at any time of the year, right? Because I think one of the programs they're considering, there would be intake in any one of the 3 semesters. So
there is a new program where that is definitely possible, where students can start at any time. But generally speaking, I think most cohorts start in the fall semester.
Okay.
I could be mistaken.
I think generally, yeah, they start in the fall.
And if someone did start later, especially now with the virtual world that we're living in, there'd still be opportunities for students to get involved in the executive and in the CGSA by taking part in some of the subcommittees or volunteer roles or reaching out. Potentially, that would be up to a new council, but the opportunities could exist. Are there any questions? And I'm sorry, Dan, I think I might have cut you off there by accident. Are there any questions about the electoral structure that's being proposed, or the electoral schedule that's being proposed? Okay. So then in terms of next step, pour les prochaines étapes, on a une période de vote qui va lancer ce soir. On va circuler un courriel avec un lien à un sondage pour ce que les étudiants peuvent voter. La période de vote sur les propositions, les proposés changements des statuts va aller de ce soir jusqu'au 24 septembre, alors 2 jours, pour assurer que les étudiants qui sont dans des différents time zones, ils pourraient aussi participer. Après ça, on va annoncer les résultats vendredi et on va lancer la période des élections pour l'association et on aurait un nouveau conseil dans les prochaines semaines. Okay. Thank you everyone for attending and for your time. It's greatly appreciated. And if there are any questions, we'll ensure that the CGSA email is also available so that students can reach out and ask questions about the changes. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Pause recording, stop recording.